Ahmad has in court has to do with, if you read the address well, has to do with the issue of cargo tracking note contracts. So that does not bother us. It has to do with a company that was linked to him, Velocity, that was linked to him, that he failed to resign as a director of that company. In public service role, as soon as you are in the civil service, you are expected, to disengage yourself from private businesses. The only thing you can do is agriculture. But a company is linked to him, Velocity. So this same company is involved in cargo tracking note contracts, which they won. And there's a company called Donaldson. They traced the company to him that he failed to resign, and they dragged him to court. Our own concern is having 37 bank accounts. And even if that does not raise suspicion, if we are so gullible as Nigerians, that does not raise suspicion. But the fact that in two of the accounts is in your mommy's name. So that's our whole concern, that all these things suggest there is fraud somewhere. And beside that, we are talking about a person that sits over 3 million naira. If you had World Bank made us to know recently through Madam Elizabeth that the last few years under him is everywhere in the news. They gave NEP, which is a unit under Rural Electrification Agency, $350 million US dollar. I'm not good at maths, but I know that should be around 300 million. That should be around 300 billion naira. So now compare that. Now add that to budgetary allocation that same agency, Rural Electrification, gets. So we might be talking about $1 trillion naira. And someone who oversee that amount of money has 37 bank accounts, with two linked to his, all linked to his mother's, to his BVN, and with two of those accounts in his mother's name. If we are serious in this part of the world, at a time when the president is asking us, the ordinary people, to tighten our belts, that the fuel price has gone up, inflation is on the rise. A public servant, someone who was who was a level 12 officer, and made an MD, chief executive officer of an agency, now has 37 bank accounts, with all linked to his BVN. These are documentary evidence. Even the picture of his so-called mom. And nothing is happening. We have been on this thing for a while. I think it's that time we set our priority right. Thank you. NEP, Nigerian Electrification Project, is a unit under Rural Electrification Agency. Is tasked with generating power in underprivileged communities. It's not about rural areas. Agege is underprivileged, where I come from. It's an underprivileged community. How many of the impact of NEP in Agege has never been felt. But now, because we have a president who's from Lagos, Ahmed came to Yaba some days ago. to do some funny power project. Where was he all this while? No, so he went to Ogun. All these things were just optics. For a unit, there are a lot of things. The documents are there. Our own position is this: if Tinubu fails to initiate process to investigate this guy, we are going to take it up. We've already written letters to the World Bank to stop any grant, even the coming grant, the 750. If we are talking about 750 million US dollar, how much are you talking of? These are not small money for 38-year-old boy to manage. He's now having 37 bank accounts, as if he's competing with his own age. And those accounts, even some of those accounts are, if you see the man has even opened some accounts, these are facts. We have our own way of getting all these facts. These are facts. The BVNs, we've been able to trace all those accounts with BVN, and the documents are before you. It will be better for him to resign or leave that office, or for Tinubu to act. If the two of them fail to do what is needful, we will make this thing difficult for them in a manner that they won't expect. Because it's funny, we've only appealed to the World Bank to even, because it was something serious when we all listened to the what's it called, a World Bank something in this part of the world, Elizabeth, and she was saying that the agreement they had, they fulfilled the part coming August, and it was, if you follow the newspaper in the last few days, there was a report by the World Bank representative. World Bank would disburse another $750 million to US dollar to NEP under this same character, Ahmad Salihijo, who has 37 bank accounts, all linked to his BVN. What are you doing with such bogus? What are you doing with such high numbers of accounts? To us, there is more to it, and we've done our own private investigation, and we found out that those accounts are just a conduit pipe for fraud. Because if you have that kind of, if you open an account in your mother's name, the mom's she's a director in NBTE, that's the National Board of Technical Education. So if you don't have an account, if you have two accounts in your mom's name, all linked to your BVN, and all those huge sum of money, you are going to oversee it. Abba, if you are serious in this part of the world, where the ordinary people cannot even afford a meal in a day, and someone who is charged with providing alternative power for them, is found wanting, I found involved in something of such magnitude, we all must be concerned, and that's why we are concerned. This is a matter of public interest.
When we talk about electricity and its importance in the lives of people in the rural area, then we will know what we're talking about here. The barbers, the welders, artisans will tell you what they are going through with the level of decadence in that sector, particularly in the rural areas. So when you juxtapose all of this with the cost of living of today, the rise in PMS price and all of that, then those who are bearing the brunt, we know it's no joke. If somebody is sitting on their destiny and is just, toying with their lives. That is where our concern is drawn from. And I think it is worth, investigating. We are not gaining anything specially from the removal of somebody from office. But when your action is having telling effect on the lives of millions of Nigerian masses who are voiceless, I think it is worth doing to come up and be a voice for these voiceless people. A matter is in the public domain. It is only, we are all Nigerians. It is only when a graft organization like EFCC or ICPC decides not to do anything that they can say they are waiting for another petition. These things are in the newspaper. We are acting on reports we also gathered from the newspaper, and we decided to take some steps to dig deeper into the matter. And these are what we came out with. We will not hesitate to just fulfill all righteousness by petitioning them alongside whatever action we are planning to do after this initial step. But I think the EFCC is sufficiently aware of what is happening in that sector.
So can I add something to that?
Yeah.
It's unfortunate the kind of country we find ourselves. EFCC under Bawa. Bawa is 42 years old. Ahmad is 38 years old. So they are of the same age mates. Several organizations have petitioned EFCC. At that level, the two of them are friends. And in a way, not only EFCC, personally, me, I'm aware that donating petition Code of Conduct Bureau over the issue that relates, like I said initially, that Donating Nigeria Limited is in court with Velocity and Marine Logistics over this over the issue of public procurement laws violation by the same guy, his own company. So, but what am I saying? What are we saying in this essence? The court issue is there. We are not talking about the court issue. The issue of procurement law and the money laundering issue involving him and donating is not of our matter. It's not a matter of our own concern. What we are concerned about is the issue of having 37 bank accounts and all those bank accounts linked to your BVN, and at the same time, the manner you open that account raise questions. So that's what we are after. But we are aware that lot of other stakeholders have written to the EFCC, have written to Code of Conduct, have written even to the presidency, and nothing has happened. But we will sit down and be lamenting. We all own this country together. So we are just making this. We are trying to draw the attention of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. We drew the attention of Buhari to this, but we all know there's a difference between Tinubu and this what's it called? His predecessor. So we are going beyond whatever has happened during Buhari time, and now we want to draw the attention of the president to it, to know that there's this issue of a 38 years old public servant, because he's a public servant. He used to work in the same ministry where he's now the MD and the CEO. He was a level 12 officer, and he was just promoted to that office when he became the MD and the CEO. So now we take it, we want just to draw attention to the number of accounts he has and how we believe that those accounts are used as conduit pipe for fraud.
We know that several shareholders have also petitioned the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission (EFCC) and the Code of Conduct Bureau to investigate Ahmad over alleged allegation that under him, REA awarded 2 billion naira consultancy contracts to his cronies to supervise engineering jobs awarded to contractors, even as there are engineers who could handle the supervision within the agency. Gentlemen of the press, all allegations tabled are not lacking in documentary evidence, with one about alleged conflict of interest bordering on awarding contracts to companies he allegedly has interest in. COWAFIJ affirms that the ongoing tsunami to rid the system of corrupt and incompetent public officers by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu spurred REA under the watch of the 38-year-old Ahmad to embark on some solar projects in Lagos, Ogun, and Niger states for the optics. This is a phantom attempt by Ahmad to redeem himself, as it only scratched the surface of what is really happening in his agency. While we call on President Tinubu to order investigation into Ahmad's activities as head of REA by the appropriate law enforcement agencies, we also warn that failure to act, we shall be compelled to draw prosecutorial power from the 2022 decision of the Supreme Court of Nigeria in the case of Raphael Obiajuku versus Chief Joe Obiajuku. The provisions and the numbers of the private citizens to institute and prosecute crimes of any kind without fiat from the Attorney General. You will recall that Ahmad's predecessor, Mrs. Damilola Ogunbiyi, was sacked 2 years into her tenure by the then Minister of Power, Salim Ahmed. The latter also ordered investigation into alleged infractions leveled at Ogunbiyi, who prior to her appointment as REA's MD was the general manager of the Lagos State Electricity Board. Those going to equity, we believe, must come with clean hands. Thank you all.